Just to look into your eyes and do nothing, yeah, honey, that's my own getaway. It's your hair holding mine and my head on your chest, it's a dream for me. Loving on my man, that's my only plan, chilling with my baby. It sounds perfect, don't you say? Hey darling, let's play. Tell me all your fantasies, ain't nobody else for me. Hey darling, just stay. Your love helps me maintain. Lay up in this bed on Saturday. All I wanna do is kick back and lay low. Little Al Green playing on the stereo. Glass of wine, just some you and me time. Let's go away to nowhere. All I wanna do is kick back and lay low. Little Al Green playing on the stereo. Glass of wine, just some you and me time. Let's go away to nowhere. Oh, let's go away to nowhere. Oh, let's go. Can we spend all night dancing real close underneath these stars? Let the moonlight shine. I can see the future in your heart and it's diamond bright. Loving on my man, that's my only plan. Yep, it's good on time. It's so perfect, sounds alright. Hey darling, let's play. Tell me all your fantasies, ain't nobody else for me. Hey darling, just stay. Your love helps me maintain. Lay up in this bed all Saturday. All I wanna do is kick back and lay low. Little Al Green playing on the stereo. Glass of wine, just some you and me time. Let's go away to nowhere. All I wanna do is kick back and lay low. Little Al Green playing on the stereo. Glass of wine, just some you and me time. Let's go away to nowhere. I wanna go away with you, nowhere, baby.
Anger, shock, and sadness in Buffalo tonight as people mourn the 10 victims of what police are calling a racist murder rampage at a grocery store. Tonight, the accused gunman is being held in isolation and is on suicide watch as people mourn their loved ones who were targeted because of the color of their skin. KPRC2's Brendan Walker traveled to Buffalo to bring us the story of this community now dealing with this incredible loss. He is live near that market tonight with the very latest. Brandon?
And good Sunday evening to you, Sion, from the intersection of Jefferson and Riley here in Northeast Buffalo. We've talked to community members all day here, and they tell us for years they've considered the Tops Friendly Market to be their neighborhood grocery store, one of only a few in this part of town. As you mentioned, 10 people killed, another 3 people shot, and tonight we are learning more about the investigation into the accused gunman. Much more on that in a bit, but our coverage tonight from Buffalo begins with a look at a few of the community members who lost their lives. You didn't have to know Pearl Young to know women just like her. She was the kind of hero you're likely to find in communities all across the country. Loved ones on social media remembering the 77-year-old Sunday as the neighborhood mom, the sweetest person. They say Pearl opened her heart and home to those who needed a hot meal, encouragement, kindness. In fact, for decades, she ran a food pantry in Buffalo. Those grieving are honoring her as the most beautiful soul who loved her church, God, and family. Pearl Young was the wife of a pastor, a mom, a beloved grandma, and auntie. Her family saying Sunday, Pearl and others gone much too soon in this tragedy will never be forgotten.
She was just so beautifully inside and out, because good always overshadows evil. And to the people in the Buffalo community, we extend our condolences to all of the families that lost their loved ones.
Buffalo's mayor Sunday confirmed 86-year-old Ruth Whitfield is the mother of the city's retired fire commissioner. Local media report Whitfield was the mother of 4. We also learned Sunday Aaron Salter was a veteran of the city's police force. Salter worked as a security guard, protecting customers from Gentron's bullets, losing his life doing so. And witnesses described hearing 20 or more bullets on Saturday. Meantime, the suspected shooter, 18-year-old Peyton Gentron, is in jail tonight, and we're learning that this isn't his first run-in with the law. In fact, in June, New York State Police say that he made a threatening statement about shooting at his high school, Susquehanna Valley. School officials alerted police, which resulted in a mental health evaluation. Authorities say he was released shortly after. Now, less than a year later, he's accused of killing 10, injuring another 3. Investigators say he drove over 3 hours to carry out this attack here in Buffalo. He reportedly posted a manifesto online 2 days before this shooting in which he referred to himself as a white supremacist and was targeting a predominantly black area.
We have evidence that he was here, that he was doing some reconnaissance on this place, that he was at the location and some other locations. The evidence we have right now, we do not believe it was a spur of the moment.
Yeah, that point about this not being random, about it possibly being planned, is felt by members of this community. They've come and gone all day, crippled by the hate they say stole lives. As night fell in Buffalo, prayers lifted hope that the pain will pass.
It's my plan to go visit each and every family that has lost somebody.
Healing will take time, says New York Assemblywoman Crystal Peoples-Stokes, majority leader of the New York State Assembly. Peoples-Stokes hugged in the street next to the grocery store in her neighborhood. She's sad, also angry.
People would travel from their own community, where they're safe at, to mine to come and hurt people in such a horrific way.
Chelsea Williams works at a nearby hospital, said she had to come see for herself.
He came to a grocery store. This could have been any store.
But it was the Tops at Jefferson and Riley, likely intentional, stress officials because of the neighborhood's majority black composition.
The slogan around here is like Buffalo's a city of good neighbors. And so to see something like this happen here in this community is just surreal for me. And I never thought I would see something like that around here. You see it at other places around the country.
Lanice Lewis brought a bouquet of flowers to one of many memorials. Lewis's grief deepened by her thoughts. She says her son called her Saturday, asking if she knew what had happened at their neighborhood grocery store.
I broke down crying. I said, I was on my way there, but I kept procrastinating at home. So I believe my life was spared.
Sadness grips the block, the city. Anger has a place here too, said Tony Arrington.
It becomes tiring. I have little brothers, I have little sisters, and it's scary to even go out to the grocery store to provide meals for my family because I'm scared of what can happen.
Lots of community members here on the streets echoing that last point. Meantime, lawmakers zeroing in on the gun the gunman is accused of using. New York's governor tonight confirming that the AR-15 was legally purchased here in the state of New York, but she says the clip was illegally purchased. So their investigation is looking into that as well. We've also learned that on Tuesday, President Joe Biden as well as First Lady Dr. Jill Biden are scheduled to visit here in Buffalo. Tuesday, Sion, also happens to be the day the gunman is expected to appear in court again. So lots of developments expected on Tuesday. Lots of other questions are expected to be answered about this investigation beginning first thing tomorrow morning, too. In the meantime, let's send things back to you.
And we know you will stay on top of it for us, Brandon. Thank you for your reporting tonight.
Okay. Just wanted you to see that little clip of what happened in New York. Man, that's a bitter pill to swallow, right? But think about this for a minute. This happens all the time. How many times have we seen something like this happening? Where we're being targeted, and we got to understand now, y'all. And that's the reason why I'm making this video, because I'm just like, damn, man, I'm just so sick of seeing black people being used and abused, and us not really understanding the situation, why this happens again and again and again and again. And the main reason I believe that it happens to us is because we do not take this stuff seriously. You know, we're not working as a community within our community. You know, we have more trust for everybody else, and we are willing to help everybody else. But the people who need it the most, we don't want to help ourselves. You know, and I think that's primarily a mental condition, something that we've been taught over centuries. You know what I mean? Just literally centuries to think that way. Because how else can you justify the fact that a police officer will come into your house? I'm gonna use this example before I even get into that. A police officer will come into your house, kill you dead, shoot you dead, while she's talking to her boyfriend about getting it on later on that night. Now we know that happened with Botham Jean, right? And look at what happened in the courtroom. Look at the judge. The dude's brother, the victim's brother, wanted to give this lady a hug. I mean, was like saying he didn't even think she deserved any jail time. That is a mental illness. That's something that cannot be taught. That's something that has been ingrained in black people's psyche over time, using media, TV, radio, the church. And we just have to really get out of that. We have to stop thinking on that level, because it's getting to a point now that we are really at a great risk of being annihilated. See, white people already understand the fact that they understand that their birth rates are going down. They understand that. So they are acting out. They are rebelling against that. They are coming together. And I'm not saying all white people, because we all know that there are good white people, there are bad white people. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that, let me say that again. There are good white people, there are bad white people, there are good black people, and there are bad black people, right? But the thing that I'm trying to point out is this. Black people don't have that kind of power. We don't have the power in the government. We don't have the power in the business community. You know, we don't control media. You know what I'm saying? We are not armed like that. So by us being at this disadvantage and not understanding that we are at a disadvantage, we are putting ourselves in grave danger. We're putting ourselves in grave danger. I mean, that's not sometime, that's every time. And then you hear people say this. Well, what about the black folks killing each other? What about that? You know, we got to worry about them. You got to understand this. Why is it that black people, not all black people, why is it when it does happen in the hood, in the hood, what's the main reason for somebody killing somebody? I mean, underneath everything, it's financial. If you ain't got nothing, you don't have no money, you barely making it, and you looking at all these images, like I said about being manipulated through the media, all these images, whereas as opposed to going to school, the best way to make it in this world is to be a dope dealer, is to be a hitman, be a basketball player, be a football player. You know, things that the basketball, football, all that kind of stuff, that's okay. But why can't we have the options? Why can't we be seen in scenes where on TV where we are being businessmen, being doctors, you know, controlling our own destiny, Look at the TV. Most of the time you see on TV, you see people that are doing what? When you see black people, what are they? What are they? They're either some kind of boxer, football player, a basketball player, or they are a criminal, or if they are successful, there's some malevolent white person that has helped them to get to that position. Not that they did it on their own, but they were helped and coaxed and guided to that position. We have to become more educated. We have to take more time to learn the strategies that are being put upon us. That's every day. And we got to stop being a sucker thinking that the politics would change anything. Politics, they won't change nothing. What good is a law that's not being enforced? They got laws on the books right now, that they're not enforcing. And why aren't they enforcing them? Because they have no desire to. And the laws that really need to be enforced or created are not even being created. What about the George Floyd Act? See, that act basically simply says that it's going to make the police officers accountable for what they do. It's going to take away qualified immunity. What does that mean when they take away qualified immunity? That simply means this, that if a person kills somebody and it's been proven to be negligent, that means that person, that officer or officers can be sued personally. They're personally liable for that. Do you know when we sue, we get these people, okay, I done lost my brother. They got shot down by a cop. The cop might get fired. But one, if he gets fired, he can go to another precinct and get a job. And two, I'm paying the person my brother, he's being paid by the taxpayer, which is me. So there's no real justification. There's no real satisfaction out of that at all. Why is that? Simply because they making the money that's coming for that lawsuit. Those millions and millions of dollars are coming out of the city's coffers, and we pay into the city's coffers in the form of taxes. See, the game is so goddamn deep, and we are so damn susceptible to it because we don't fucking read. We don't remember nothing. We think that everything is fine as long as it don't happen to you. See, I bet you every one of those people in that supermarket have seen George Floyd got killed. They might have bitched about it and all that kind of stuff, but then what do? They go back to work. They go back to their party. They go back to doing whatever they do and go back to living their normal lives, right? Then what happens? Something like this happens, and those people have to face that reality that's happening to them, their loved one, their son, their mother, their grandmother. That's a terrible thing, of course, yeah. You don't want that to happen to nobody. But the reality is, it's happening, and it's going to keep happening, and maybe it's going to start happening even more and more and more. Another thing, why are we always waiting for someone to do something for us? Now, I'm talking about the politics. Now, you got politicians that come to our neighborhood every 4 years or every 2 years, depending on whatever the election cycle is, whenever that is. And they come and they promise all of these things for us. All of this stuff. We're going to get this. We're going to get that for you. Yeah, we need more jobs. We need more of this. Do they ever talk about getting more businesses? Do they ever talk about stopping redlining? I mean, really stopping it. You know, to help us get more loans? No. Don't talk about that kind of stuff. All that kind of stuff is like they push it on the back burner. They gonna give a shit like Juneteenth. You know, stupid ass fucking holidays. I mean, little nothing burgers that don't mean anything at all. They give those things to us, you know, a holiday. But they ain't giving no money up. We talk about reparations. It's like you slapped your grandmother. See, we got to stop now. And you know what? And now it's starting to happen. It's starting to happen. And I think it's still happening too slow for my judgment. I think it's still happening too slow. Black people are beginning, it's just the tip of the iceberg, just beginning to understand what's happening, because they've been feeding us this line for the last 60 years. You got our boy, the President of the United States, could tell us to our face that if you don't vote for him, you ain't black, right? The same cat that co-signed, who actually wrote the crime bill that put thousands and thousands and thousands of black men and women in jail. To this very day, some of these kids were in jail, they went in jail as children, and now they're my age. They're old men right now. And why is that? How is it that guy who wrote the crime bill could come back years later and have black people vote for him en masse? How is that possible? Unless we are have been conditioned to think a certain way, to believe in a certain thing. That's the only way that can happen. And see, we do not see it. We don't see it. We don't believe it. You know, we are caught up in church, or we caught up in sports. I never seen so many black men that's so caught up in sports and don't think about nothing else but that, or thinking about just partying or getting high, or all the stuff that we do, all the stuff that black people are normally would do. You know, instead of coming together and thinking about what it is that we want to do and create a plan and stop being just marginalized by so many people. I mean, a person can come over here from Poland and get right in front of the line, right ahead of you. You've been here all your life, your entire life. But a cat can barely speak English to come over here and do better than you. Right now, today. That's no lie. That ain't no cap. That's for real. You got people coming over right now from Afghanistan, get big bank, get money, get loans, get grants, places to stay. Welcome them in with open arms. Right now, to this day. You got white-looking people that's coming in. What's that other country they coming in from? Over there in Russia. You know what I'm talking about. I can't think of the name of it right now. But they coming over here. They got that war-torn country over there. Biden just dropped billions on these people. Billions on these people. I mean, he did it with a stroke of a pen. Just like that. We asked for reparations and been asked for reparations for over 50 years. And we built this country. We built it. From the railroads to the fucking capital of the United States of America right now. Washington was built by black people. Yes, look up Henry Banneker. That's us, 100%. So why is it that everybody else can get it? The Japanese got it. The Jews still get it today. They get banked right now. We're sending our tax money over there to Israel right now, so they can oppress those people over there. They've been there on that land since time immemorial. How is that happening? Why is it that happens and we cannot ask for reparations? They say that's not feasible. That's controversial. Duh, we gotta open our eyes, y'all. We got to open our eyes. That's why I'm doing this right now, because I don't know about you, but I done got to the point where I have to speak on this, or I'm going to just fucking bust. I got to say something about this, because it's getting to the point now that we just straight being played. We were getting macked before. You know what I'm saying? Now we just straight getting punked. Just straight up punked. Why? Why is that? Because we are the only people in this country that don't work together. We're the only ones that don't work together. I'm gonna show you something. Hold on. See, we need to read. We need to read more books, understand more things, because if we do not, we're gonna continue to go through this again and again and again. And you know what? We ain't got all day to be doing this shit, to learn this shit. We ain't got all day for this. I'm gonna give you the first book. This book right here, Black Labor, White Wealth. Read this book. This book breaks it all the way down. He shows you how we built this damn country. From the very beginning, how we built this country. The things that were used against us, the machinations that were created to use against us to keep us from benefiting from anything. We were just locked out of the wealth from the moment we came to these shores. And they kept it that way forever. And they intend to keep it that way forever. And again, I'm not saying all white people are bad. I'm just saying because the ones that don't speak up for that, speak up and they know what's going on. So the ones that are not bad, they still benefit for the ones that are bad. So we got to do something to change that. I'm gonna give you another book. This brother right here, Amos Wilson. And if you can't read that, I'll say it out loud to you. The Falsification of African Consciousness. This book breaks it down psychologically. The things that we do, how we think, reasons why we think the way we think, all of that is in that book. We got to start learning to read. Talk about violence, why black on black people, why do we shoot each other, kill each other, why do we do these things? I got a book for that. Right here. Black on Black Violence by Amos Wilson. Excellent book. Excellent book. We need to read this book or have someone read it to us. You know what? I think I might do that shit too. I think I might, on certain days, just sit down and just go over these books. Just read a chapter, maybe a week, or maybe 2 weeks. But we need to understand what is being done to us and what has been done to us, what has been done to us more than anything. And lastly, the book I really want to talk about, this right here, Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. How can we build up our money? How can we create opportunities for ourselves? So instead of our children saying, or we're saying to our children, yeah, go to school, get a good education so you can get a good job, right? What does that put you? That puts you right back into the hands of the very people or system that seeks to destroy us. So you get a job, you work it, you think you're feeling kind of good, right? But what can you do? What can you say on behalf of your people when you see an injustice? Can you go to work and talk about that openly? Can you be in a protest downtown with a sign? And really speak your mind? Can you say that? Can you do that? You can't. Why? You know why? Because that'll cost you your job. And all of these little trinkets that you've accumulated, your car, your house, your clothes, the good food you're eating, all those things are handcuffs, and they keep you struggling and they keep you locked down. That is the beauty of this system. And that is our downfall. That is our demise. We need to try to at least create opportunities, if not for ourselves, for our children because they are our future. And the powers that be, they realize that. They know that. They know without the younger generation, and as long as they are conditioned to just be fucking wild out there shooting each other up, to value a fucking car as opposed to getting a house, value knocking off 2, 3, 4, 5 women, 7, 8, 9 kids, as opposed to having a good woman, a good wife, building a good family, creating a good family, raising your children in a productive manner, teaching your children how to be productive people in this society, and to bring that wealth back to your own. We the only people that I know of in America that will let another race of people build a business up in their own neighborhood, talk to you like you ain't shit, follow you around the store, cuss you out, jump on you, beat your ass, and the police won't do nothing to them. And we still will go right back the next fucking week and buy their business, buy their shit from them, buy their products. Who else does that shit? Can you go into a little China and set up a business right there and have people come in there and buy shit from you? Buy some goddamn fried chicken? You got a restaurant. You set that shit up, you set up shop in an Asian neighborhood. You selling fried chicken, and you can sell with the shit they eat, rice and whatever the fuck they eat, beans and whatever they eat, whatever Chinese people eat, kimchi, whatever that is, Asian people eat, right? You could be selling that product. You will starve. Your store will not last 6 months in that community. Why? Because they know it's been baked into their mind that we're gonna do business with our own before we ever do business with you. Before we ever do business with you, we're gonna do business with our folks. We're gonna make sure they eat before you eat. That's why they can come into our community, set up a shop and get rich, send their kids off to Harvard and Yale. And every night when they close their business, they travel 100 miles to another community, to their nice homes in the suburbs, while you go right back to the ghetto or to your apartment or whatever it is. But they ain't living among you. Your kids ain't playing with their kids. Your kids don't go to school with their kids. I guarantee you that. See, I'm saying it, I'm gonna say it again, I'm gonna keep saying this. We have been conditioned to think a certain way, to believe certain things to be true that are not true. We are living in a true to fact, a real life matrix. This is no joke, this is the real deal. It's the real deal. And the fact of it, just like in the matrix, we are unaware of that. We have no idea what's happening. We don't have no idea that this is happening to us. And the ones that do have an inkling of what's going on are shouted down by the ones that want to keep their little zuzus and wham-whams. They want to keep their nice house. They want to keep driving their nice car. So they'll talk shit a little bit, but when that man tell you, like, look here, I hear what you're saying, but I think it's time you cut that shit out. We want you to start talking about this, and that. We want you to go out there and tell young people that violence ain't the way. Tearing up shit ain't good no more. You know what I'm saying? Just we're gonna work it out somehow. But we don't want you to demand nothing. Why? If you don't demand something, if you don't ask for something, you're going to get the same thing we've been getting for the last 60 years. We've been voting in one party almost en masse, almost 100%. Black people have been voting for the Democrats. And I'm not saying vote for the Republicans either. The thing I'm saying is that whoever gets our vote should earn the damn thing. They should just get it. They should not just get our vote because we've always voted that way. I have people tell me that, what are you, it's your right to vote. We died for the right to vote. That's true. That's true. But what good is it if we aren't willing to die to benefit ourselves, to benefit our communities? If we're not willing to do what's hard, the things that are hard, if we're not willing to do those things to get to affect the change that we need, voting doesn't mean shit. It means nothing. It's a joke. Because, it was a time back in the 1800s or so, or something like that. I think it was right after the Revolutionary War. Black people had a lot of rights. We were in the Senate. We were in the Congress. We wrote laws. We wrote all that shit. And the only thing that made that possible was the fact that they had laws on the books, but those laws were enforced by the military. And the moment they pulled that military, those military out of there, them boys came in there and kicked them motherfuckers right the fuck up out of there. They kicked them right out. Get your black ass out of here. You ain't running nothing. So my point is this. What good is a law on the books if it's not being enforced? What good is that law? What power does that law have if it's not being enforced? What does it mean to have that law written? Go through all the things you got to do to get the law written, to get it on paper, to vote for it, to have it approved. What good is that if you don't even enforce it? That is the conundrum, if you would, the conundrum. That's a good word, conundrum, that we are put in all the time. See, they think of us like this. They say, okay, look, who you gonna vote for? You ain't gonna vote for Republicans. Why? Why? Because they already showing you they don't give a damn about you. Matter of fact, most of the people that in the early days were Republicans, they were really Democrats. They were called Dixiecrats. And when Lincoln won and was freeing the slaves, rather than to do the right thing, they just defected to the fucking Republican Party. Think about that. Rather than to do the right thing, they would rather defect to another party. But that took balls. It took heart. It took a unity among them and a mindset that said, if we can't control what we want in this, we just gonna move. We gonna get the fuck out this house. If we can't have this house ran like we want it to be ran, we'd rather leave it. That's what black people gotta do. We have to start, and that's hard. We have to start saying, look, this is what we want. And if we ain't getting what we want, we ain't giving you what you want. Point blank, period. We got to get what we want, and then you get what you want. But what good is voting for nothing? Just think of all the presidents. Okay, you had both Bushes, right? You had both Bushes. You had Clinton. What'd he do? He was Biden's right hand, or Biden was his right hand man. He came down so hard on black people with the help of Biden to get reelected. Say, I don't give a shit about you. He made it happen. He passed the law that Biden wrote. And then came back to us and said, y'all asked for that. But who created that situation where crime was so bad in our communities? Who brought the dope in? Where it come from? Huh? How did Freeway Rick get all that damn dope? Huh? Why did Reagan use us. Let those guys over there in Nicaragua come over here and sell all that dope, pass all that dope on to guys like Freeway Rick Ross and take that money back to the Contras. Who was the man? Who was his right-hand man? It was Bush. So think about these things. See? Think about these things. And you can't say, well, that was a Republican president. Yeah, Bush was a Republican president. But the guy who wrote the worst bill for black people in fucking history was a Democrat. Clinton. We suckers for this shit, man. And it's time that we stop. It's time that we reassess and start thinking about real survival. We gotta think about that now, because what we got right now, we ain't surviving. We are, shit, for lack of a better word, we're perishing. We are perishing right now. Watch. You think it's bad now? Okay, it's bad under a Democratic president. Biden not gonna run again. The motherfucker, he damn near 100 now. Who is gonna vote for Kamala in their right mind? An ex-cop who put more black folks in jail. This chick had a dude on death row who's innocent. She was gonna let this man die to get votes. Just to show that she was hard on crime. She kept people in prison to fight forest fires who were due to be released, who could be released. She refused to let them be released. It took a judge to override her and force her to do it. What black person in their right mind is going to vote for that woman? Yo, we got to start being boo-boo the fool. You know, it's time that we come together and start working on our own behalf. Come together and start loving one another. And stop all this fucking bullshit. Stop being so damn stingy and selfish with one another. You know, having that fucking crab in the barrel mentality. You know, you see a brother on the street, you don't even want to help him out. You think he's less than you. Or he might have a horrible job. He working his ass off. But you think you good because you got a good job. What's called a good job. You know, because see, each and every one of us could be in that situation in a matter of days. Then what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna want somebody to help you. But we got to learn to help each other. We got to learn to help the next man, because that next man could be us. Yeah, that next man could be us, y'all. I don't know what else I could say, man. I made me a little list over here. I was going to write about some topics that I want to talk about. I just started thinking about this, man. It just gets me so riled up. I just forgot, look at the damn list. What do I have on here? Oh, yeah. That cat, that dude, the one just shot up all those people in New York. Did you know that guy had a manifesto? 180-page manifesto? Did you see the difference? Could you really look at the difference in how he was treated as opposed to that guy named in Dallas, Michael Johnson? Did you see the difference? That guy got to go home. I mean, he didn't go home, he went to jail. You know, he got to live another day. This guy went into a grocery store, slaughtered 13 people, killed 10 of them, literally. He was loaded up to the gills. When the police came on that scene, they knew that this man, it wasn't a doubt he was a threat. He was a clear and present threat. And they knew that. Yet and still, this guy was able to be taken alive. You see the picture of him? With his handcuffed behind his back, standing up there, the two guys next to him, the cop on one side, cop on the other side. Did you see him come into the courtroom? The deference with which they spoke to him? Huh? Was he in shackles to his hands and his feet? I don't know. I didn't notice that. I didn't think I saw that. Right now, this guy is back in jail somewhere, eating some meal, and looking at TV. Maybe. Right? But what was the fate of Michael Johnson? Check it out. What was the fate of Michael Johnson? Huh? They did something that had never been done before on American soil. They couldn't get to that dude. They didn't try to talk him down, did they? You know, they didn't try to negotiate with that brother to get him out of there, to have him face a judge. No, you know what they did? They put a fucking bomb on a robot and ran that shit up in there and blew his ass up. Oh yeah, that's what they did for Micah. But this cat, he gets to walk away. He gets to live. He don't feel a bullet tearing into his body. The same thing with that kid who went in there and shot. I can't think of his name right now, but the kid went in there and shot all them people in that church. Huh? What they do with him? They took his ass to Burger King, got him a nice burger and a Coke before they took him to jail. They treated him like one of their brothers, which that's what he was. He's one of their brothers, right? If it's not clear by now that we have been treated totally different in this country than other races of people. And that ain't saying, that ain't no prejudice talk at all. That's a fact. That's a fact. All you gotta do is look and read and see history. All you gotta do is look at last night's news report. You see that? Huh? It don't make no difference if you got a gun and you legal and you tell the police, you say, look, man, I got a gun. I got it legally. It's in my glove box. What happened to Philando Castile? He did the right thing. He went out, kept his nose clean, got a legal license to carry. He did what he was supposed to do, told the police, hey man, I got a gun. I'm letting you know, officer, I have a gun. He got shot 6 times in front of his girlfriend and his fucking baby. Killed right there before their eyes. And he was legal. He was legal. So it don't matter. It don't matter. Oh yeah, somebody got paid too. But you know who paid for that? The taxpayer paid for that. Huh? How is it possible that a man like George Floyd can put his knee on a man's neck for 9 minutes and choke him the fuck out? Right? Now, he went to jail for that. But it took a long time. And they tried to find everything they possibly could to justify the reason why that man died. They ain't say he died because my man was on his neck with his knee for 9 minutes. No, they say he was a dope fiend. He's a drug addict. He had heart problems. Any damn thing. So, no. My people, we gotta open up our eyes. We gotta stop the bullshit. got to stop the games. We got to stop living just for ourselves. We got to stop that shit. I'm telling you. Because in another couple years, maybe 3, you're going to think you back in fucking 1901. But they're going to be walking by you and your woman, and he like her. He just pat on her ass and shit. What you doing, girl? And dare you to say anything about it. Oh, your man might have a little argument with the boss at work, and he just don't come home that night. And they give you the runaround, blah, 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 all that shit. You don't know why he ain't came home. And then they dredge his ass up out the river, all decayed with a fucking goddamn tie iron around his damn neck. We got to start educating ourselves, y'all. We got to start understanding what we're really up against and start acting accordingly. And it shouldn't make a difference what your religion is, or all that shit. That's been another thing they used to separate us. The Methodists against the Baptists against the Pentecostals. All that shit is game. That's all cap. That's just to keep you fighting and feuding one another and not looking at the real issue, which is really, I'm going to say it, what it is really is just white supremacy. That's what it is in a nutshell, y'all. Open your eyes, my people. Open your eyes. I'm going to start doing, I think I will start reading a book a day. Not a day, but read a book a week. Just find a good book and just spit through it a little bit. Just run through it and just talk about it and maybe have a discussion. Maybe when I start getting some followers, if I get some, we can just have a live and just talk about it. Talk about that shit. All right, I am out. Thank you for watching. If you do watch, if you don't, that's okay too. Blessings and peace.